Cocktails. I'm your host, Derek Schomer. Today, I wanted to give you a little exposure onto one of the things I was thinking about. I will handle the next questions of the day. I'm going to try and do a video this week for handling the questions from the last episode we did with questions of the day, or questions for me, really. So, a lot of people had been actually a part of Common Man Cocktails for a long time. I know that we have some dedicated loyal fans that have been watching for 2-3 years. We've been doing this show for 6 years, and there becomes a time where you got to take it a lot more seriously. And a couple of years ago, we probably started doing that. And part of that, I put out a video series saying I'd like to figure out a way to invest or allow people to invest in the show, because YouTube is pretty much a free platform, and while you can watch the ads, and we will make some amount of money depending on what the advertiser is on the ad, and if you don't hit the skip button, because there's a countdown for 4 seconds, and if you let it count down and you hit next or close or whatever, skip, nobody gets paid on that. So I usually opt to that instead of making people watch a 15 to 30 second commercial. Sometimes 15 seconds pre-roll anyway, but 30 second ones, I'd rather build more of a community than just monetize it in that way. So what I wanted to do is allow people, if they want to be able to donate to the show in a subscription model, not too unlike anything else you might subscribe to, for people who either are cord cutters and they don't watch any normal TV, however you want to do it. What we did is we signed up with a company called Patreon, and it's patreon.com/CMC. And it's kind of like Kickstarter. I just discovered this. I'm going to give it a try and see if we can get people that are interested in helping out. We've already had 2 people since I posted on Facebook, just to have people go through and review to make sure it looks cool. So you could go out there, you could check out the different donation styles. I'm going to try add and manipulate and change some stuff around to make it fit whatever you guys think makes the most sense. Right now, there's the $10 donation, a $30 donation, and there's some rewards to if you do it. You know, this is some of the stuff you get if somebody wants to spend $1,000, and it is on per month basis. So what you can do is you just set up the $1,000 and then you remove it. Set up a $350, remove it. But that's kind of the model I went with, because per month we make so many shows. The Patreon folks are like, if you're doing a lot of shows, do it per month. Don't do it per episode, because you can make it so you spend $1 every episode, or you donate $1 every time I post something. So with this system, it's a per month basis. If you want to assist in helping us grow and supporting the hardware and the software and everything that goes along with it, being able to do more offsites, being able to bring in new product that can get kind of expensive, and just overall become part of a Common Man Cocktails for more than just a viewer. Those that just want to watch it and they're like, I'm not paying you for this, I just want everything for free. And I have no problem with that, because by viewing the show, you're still supporting the show. Those view counts matter to me. They matter to everybody, our advertisers, any potential sponsors, and it's just exciting to see views. So you don't have to spend any money on the show. But if you do, it's patreon.com/CMC. I'm going to go around now. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of the place, just so you can see what we've done, what's working, what I mean by maintenance, and we'll take it from there, then I'll come right back to you. Alright, so here's my cut. Okay, so I've got a head cam. Check this out, I've got a head cam on. So what I'm going to do is try to give you guys a tour of the place and let you see what we've done, what we're doing. So obviously over here is kind of where the alcohol resides. And yes, I'm wearing this on my head, so to hopefully get a little bit more smooth movement. We have some overflow, so sometimes things get a little chaotic. And hopefully this gets fixed as we start to build out our bar and have a place to store a little bit more of this. And then the holiday stuff tends to hide under here, or Doug's beers if he's around. And this is our table that we typically record on. Everybody's seen that. What we do now is we stream, live stream, and to see the chat room I use this old Mac Pro that I had. The battery doesn't work on it, so it has to stay plugged in. If it unplugs, it dies, and that's no good. And then over here what we have is I have a mixing board. This I use for promos, like when you see down here, when you see this episode sponsored by AwesomeDrinks.com, it comes through that. I just hook it up as I need it. It used to be hooked up all the time, but not anymore. And just don't have the space right now. And then this camera right here, that is what we use for our live stream. It's our first camera that we use for the show. It's an old Sony 1080i camera. And then the one down there, let me see if I can scroll over here. That camera right there is the one we use in the show right now. That's another Sony. I was looking at a Canon, but I didn't end up going with it because there was a flood
and in Japan at the time, and they had no cannons available. Over here is our overflow, so right here is where we keep our Irish creams. You can see Bailey's has had no problem sending us a bunch of stuff, so we tend to have a lot of Bailey's. Cool Swan obviously sends us some stuff, and I've bought some stuff through them. We've got pretty much cream-based and coffee-based stuff. The second shelf down here is typically where we put our orange liqueurs and Kirschwasser, and it's mainly just orange and some cherry. And then down here, I try to organize this to be more of a shelf specifically for herbal, like liqueurs and brandies and apples and all that type of stuff. The bottom shelf is your catch-all. See if I can get down here. This is the shelf for some of the oddball stuff, absinthe, some extra bottles like Senior Frogs 100% de agave tequila. They don't make that anymore, so I keep it. And then I have a bunch of Blue Curacao syrups that were damaged in shipping that I ended up having to eat the cost for, and I don't know what to do with those. So I have those, and then I have a bunch of the coconut mugs that just don't meet my quality standards, so I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with those yet. All of our empties I haven't really found a good place for, so right now they're lying on the floor in the corner, and additional glassware down here that I don't really have a good solution for. These are mainly glasses that we would sell, but I don't like the way the paint is on them, and some of them have like little bubbles on them, so they're not quality enough for me to sell. The same basically goes with some of the glassware on our table down here. Not all of it's bad, but some of it can get pretty weird, so I just use it on the show. Otherwise, it's spillover for the rest of the cocktail glasses that we use on the show. And then, of course, I've got my other oddball stuff, either stuff queued for review or barware, glassware. And, of course, this is the shelf Jennifer pulls from when I forget my bar accessories. It's a little out of control. I clean it every now and then, but it gets chaotic again. And then last but not least, our black licorices, or whatever, our schnapses, our anything that's kind of sweet and flavorful. And then the bottom shelf has raspberries, Cat Daddy, and anything that doesn't really qualify but is some sort of sweeter liqueur. Not that I know if Cat Daddy fits that category. Then over here, hopefully I didn't just throw up with that move. This is where we keep, well, I have a foosball table I'm trying to get rid of. I just got to get it out of here so I can post pictures and try and throw it in the local newspaper and get it out of my way. Down here is kind of the throwaway, or the boxes. My Cthulhu Tiki mugs are in the box that's over there next to the heater. The downstairs isn't really heated, so right now we just run it with this heater, which is costing us a fortune. It's like $180 a month to run it, but we need to have some sort of heat down here. This, for those that remember, we used to have a show called Common Man Cocktails, and it was on the attic. So that's the actual shelving units that were used in the attic for the show that we don't no longer need. So they are queued to be given away or thrown away or taken out. Of course, since we carry Vaportinis, that would be what goes in this box. These are, and then we have some contest stuff over here. Have some new stuff I have to introduce into the store. Overall, it's a little bit chaotic, and it all needs to be cleaned up, but one does not always have time when it's a part-time job. Our lighting system up here is the ICANN. It's ICANN. This is an ICANN 500, I believe, and then the ICANN 1000 is the biggest lighting system that's down over here. And what that basically means is there's 1,000 LEDs within it, where these only have 500 LEDs. It's a 3-point lighting system, so you get all the same things you get out of any 3-point lighting system, except for it's a lot more money because it's LED based. I then use that same LED based technology for the ceiling lights, and as you can see up here, they're right here. But then we have this issue where this light's dying out, and I've got to get that one replaced. And then over here I have 2 more dead lights that I've got new power drivers for that I've got to install. But they lasted about 8 months and then they died. That's a good time. And then the mysterious closet of doom is down here. Yeah, that's right. We got some bitters. This is where we store all of our excess bitters for Fee Brothers and Luxardo cherries and syrups and some glassware. It's kind of the catch-all. And then over here, of course, that's our bitter shelf. This is the one we use for everyday bitters so that we can ship them out quickly. Looks like my chamomile needs to be refreshed. Extremely expensive investment for the store to be able to carry that many bitters. It's probably a good $4,000 worth of bitters right there on that shelf, or in total. And then we have our boxes and glassware, and it goes all the way around the corner. So Boston shakers, more glasses. It's kind of insane. And then our Tiki Farm tikis are all stored down here in the tiki box. If we have extras, we spill them over into someplace else, sometimes in a closet or a drawer. But that's kind of a tour of the set and the store all at once. So we'll switch back now, and you can see what this looks like from non-moving camera. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the tour of the set. I see I have a red mark on my face from the strapping this silly head mount to my head. Wouldn't be so big of a deal if I was skiing. But that is kind of what we've been doing. We've got a lot of different investments going on. These stickers, for instance, we're using to put onto the boxes, to brand the boxes, because box branding is so dang expensive. And I also put them, if somebody buys anything from a bar or if some of our fans, I stick a couple of these in there. Maybe people can use them. But overall, my initial goal is to give everybody just an understanding of what goes into making the show, what goes into making the store, so that if you do decide to head over to patreon.com/CMC and invest in the show, you understand what we manage and what we have to take care of, from lighting fixtures and getting these drivers to repower the LEDs that fail, or updating cameras, technology, moving to maybe a flash drive for one thing, backup and storage, cloud storage. We haven't even got into everything we store right now is on gigabyte or terabyte discs. So I just drag and drop all of our videos to a backup system. I figure it's already in the cloud if it's on YouTube. So there are places that I'd like to be able to invest further. We do have a bar that we're going to be building out. I've currently allocated probably about $2,000 as initial to get the build out on that. And then I don't have the diagram on hand, but my father will be building it, and I've got to figure out a way to compensate him for all that work. But that's kind of where we're going. We'll be building the bar. It'll be a full set, maybe a little bit more intimidating for new people, but it's still me. So, my goal is to keep everything common man cocktail style, meaning easy, accessible, and I like to do it in a way that shows people that it's not this craft isn't necessarily as difficult as people make it believe, or believe it is. It can be, but you work up to the level that's comfortable to you. And so part of that is helping us continue to grow and continue to expand. So if you wish to donate, go ahead and do it. I'll put some links in the description below. Again, it's not mandatory. We'll continue the show without it, but we put a lot of work into it day and night. So having any type of compensation that I can use to continue the growth and keep the lights on would be totally awesome, but non-obligatory. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. And of course, you could always just say thanks. That also works. We get tons of cool emails. Thanks everybody for that. Put a lot of time into it. Also, just responding to everybody we can. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little tour. I got to go edit this up so I can post it for you guys. And again, you can head over there if you want to donate some money and help us someday be able to make this into an enterprise that we could do as a real passionate business, other than more of a bunch of side jobs in between real work. We're done. All right. We're too shy to drink.